Indian ritual carried out in the heart of Africa's biggest economy. A flame to bless the dawn of a new era of trade between India and South Africa.
2011 is going to be a great year for all of us. Whether there is recession in South Africa or not, or in India, I think the very fact that India Inc. is willing to invest and invest more in South Africa shows that we have complete faith in the economy of South Africa.
State-owned MMTC has opened up shop in South Africa for the first time. MMTC is likely to be a big fish in South African business. It turns over $10 billion a year. It also deals with 25% of all the bullion that India imports. India is the sixth largest destination for South African imports. South Africa is trying to strike more preferential trade deals to open up business.
We no longer have to have brokers and agents and exchanges and so on that operate in other parts of the world. We work directly with each other, and I think that there are cost savings to be had from that.
We should have a trade of 10 billion. I have had a look at the figures. I'm sure that within the current financial year, from our perspective, which concludes in March, in fact, I'm being conservative. It may happen as early as next month. We would cross $10 billion.
This is where much of this business will be done. Gold to make Indian jewellery will be bought from the Rand refinery near Johannesburg, which produces 200 tonnes of bullion a year, most of which is sold to the bullion banks in London. MMTC says it wants to buy up to 15 tonnes in the first year, rising to 40 tonnes worth $200 million the year after. There have been reports that this trade may be difficult because of exchange controls in India, saying money cannot be released before delivery. Rand Refinery can't release gold until it is paid. MMTC says it can get around this with a letter of credit. Rand Refinery will wait and see.
We have been in some very early exploratory discussions with MMTC about supplying them gold directly into India. We supply quite a lot of gold already into India, but it's really done through bullion banks in London. So we would be quite interested in following that route, but really we haven't had any meaningful discussions yet, and we need to understand exactly what they're looking for, how the trade agreement would work, etc., before I can really comment on more details regarding that.
India also has a voracious appetite for coal. It uses to generate more than half of its power. The government says it imported 72 million tonnes in the last year, much of it from South Africa. It's estimated these imports will rise to 200 million tonnes by 2015. India produced a massive 530 million tonnes of coal last year, but the government says it will still have to import 60 million tonnes more this year. South Africa exported a mere 63 million tonnes last year, and a third of that went to India. If there is even more demand from India, it is likely to put more strain on South Africa's dwindling supply of quality coal. Already, Africa's biggest power generator, Eskom, has called for restrictions on exports to leave enough coal to produce electricity at home.
We have a clear plan. I mean, all this debate that the country and Eskom has had around the funding for Eskom, I think we can confidently say we have a clear solution. It's clearly identified. It's now up to us to execute, find the funds and resolve it. We're very confident that both the local market and the international market we can exploit comfortably.
How these issues are dealt with by South Africa and India will determine whether the growing trade relationship will blossom.